Right now, we'll take questions for head coach Katie Meier. First from the Miami Herald. Go ahead, Michelle Kaufman.
Hey, Katie.
Hi.
We just spoke to Jim, and I'll ask you the same thing I asked him. And I don't know if your logistics are going to be the same. That's what I wanted to know. With COVID and everything going on, all the logistical changes you've had to make with now that you're actually going to play games and travel, what are the protocols for your traveling? He said that they're going to do all charters for all the away games. Roommates have to sit together, no team meals, box lunches and stuff. Is it the same for you? Can you just sort of go through what you guys are doing? And and then I had one follow up. How is this going to affect if there are no fans in the stands? Does that take away home court advantage from teams that typically have really good fan support? And does it neutralize the league with having no fans? So kind of a two-part question there.
Well, yeah, the protocols are exactly the same, I'm sure, as Coach Al told you. I mean, it's an ACC rule, and I think the University of Miami's gone quite a few steps further than even what the ACC has mandated, just because, our medical protocol is going to always trump the stricter protocols trumps. So that's fine. We're fine with it. We just tell us the rules, and we'll keep repeating it to our players and our staffs. I mean, I think it's really, really important that we micromanage the situation. I mean, every little detail, including, if your family's in town and they want to see you, then that is in the lobby, like a lobby and a wave. I mean, it's really strict, but it needs to be. And, we're prepared for it. I think the second question about the fans, it's going to be very, very odd. I'm a little worried about some of the things I say being heard now because I like to be a little snarky sometimes and a little sarcastic maybe. And I mean, what I might consider funny, someone else might consider not so funny. So my voice does definitely travel. But it's for us, the energy needs to come from within the team. And we had a big meeting today, a film meeting, which we also have to have protocol in our film sessions, and they can only be so long, and everyone's 6 feet apart, and my staff can't be in there with me. And so that's different too. But I just did all body language. I did all these plays from a scrimmage that we did. And I just stopped on the body language and the postures, because we have got to play with joy, and we have got to play without feeling burdened. I mean, it's an unburdened time, that the 2 hours or 3 hours that we're together in practice, and when we have a chance to share our joy, people are going to want to see us being so grateful and us being very, very happy to be playing, and just a relief. It's an escape. And sometimes teams, right about a week before games come, the kids get very burdened, and now they're in finals and everything's hitting at once. And so I'm trying to lighten the load. So what happens is I become a beast, and I bring all this, demand and everything else so that they can just respond to me. It's like I put the internal pressure on really, really heavy so the external stuff can go away. So that's what we've been doing today. And if you can tell, I'm a little tired. It was an intense practice.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Wyatt Kopelman. Go ahead, Wyatt.
Hey, Coach, how you doing? Can we maybe get an update on Nyanga Goni and Naomi Mbandu and how they've had an impact on the team in practice thus far, and how you think that might translate over to the hardwood when it comes time to play all those ACC games?
Yeah, well, I'm not giving them a break at all. I have not given them a break. I have not been patient with them. I have huge expectations for them, and not so much that they're going to be stat stuffers, which they absolutely have the potential and the talent to give really interesting stats for us, but they're just kind of glue players, and they're going to play every position. I mean, they're very positionless players, the both of them, which means, hey, I'm new. I got to learn a whole new system. Oh yeah, by the way, coach put in a new 5-out offense this year, which we have never done before. So they're learning that, and all the little out of bounds plays and the special situations. I'll just throw them in there with a ton of stress and a ton of pressure, and they'll be in a new position they haven't even practiced. So, they're still playing with joy. They're handling it. They're very resilient and bright players. Both of them have really, really high IQs. And so it's been a lot of fun.
Our next question comes from Kevin Ivany. Go ahead, Kevin.
Coach, you talked about the intensity today in practice. I know a couple of weeks ago we were talking a little bit about the team and everything. Just what have you seen over the past couple of weeks as now we head into the season coming so close? What have you seen out of the players?
Well, I mean, there was a big realization today when it was basically we're locked in. I mean, we're going to add a couple of things, but like from here for a week, it's just about habits and behavior and discipline and me injecting a ton of stress and stressful situations and seeing if it turns into stress for them or if they just feel like it's pressure, like putting them down, putting them up with the team pressing, just things so that they can understand that we've had a lot of kind of practices and we've had a lot of skill work. We've had a lot of this and a lot of that. We haven't been able to have an exhibition scrimmage. We haven't been able to have referees in. So the first time that we put on our uniforms, I mean, we're going to make a lot of mistakes. Like there's no trial run. And so I'm trying to create them as much as possible. But I think, like I said earlier, the biggest thing I had to do today was just pressure, stress, loud demands, and see how they are going to respond, because we're going to have new people in new situations. And I can't create all of them in practice given the limitations. So we're just going to have to be emotionally ready.
And we're going to go back to Michelle Kaufman. Go ahead, Michelle.
Hi, just kind of piggybacking on what you just said a little bit. The fact that you haven't had the opportunity to have the scrimmages and the preseason games as much, how does that, I mean, that's really, I would think would be a huge impact, because those are your auditions. That's where you find out if someone, is ready or not ready. And all of a sudden your audition is going to be kind of your first game.
Right.
Can you just talk about how that affects the beginning of your season?
It really affects me as a coach, like kind of your confidence, like have you exposed yourself as a coach? In those scrimmages, by now, at this time of the year, we've had 2 or 3 inter squads and we've had at least 1, maybe 2 exhibitions. I mean, a week out, we've had 5 opportunities with officials at least in our practices and to not have that. I mean, I'm going back and reading the rule book again, because I usually just have that casual conversation when they visit practice. And then they say, hey, coach, here's a new rule. And remember this. And if you guys are down and you foul and, resets to 20 and all these things. And so, you want to come through for your team, but I haven't had my dress rehearsal with this team either. And it's huge. For us, it's huge because I think special situations are something that we really spend a ton of time on. But also just the conditioning, like, are you really ready to go 4 full quarters with the timed media timeouts? I mean, as much as you can scrimmage, there's still that, okay, this is actually halftime and it's 15 minutes. And how do you respond in the third quarter after a 15-minute halftime? We're not going to be in our locker room at halftime. We're not. And so we have to practice that. Timeouts, we have to practice those, although we really haven't yet. So it'll be, both teams. I mean, I'm not crying in my soup. It's just things that are in my head this week as I made a list. We were off yesterday, so I made a list and sent it to my staff, and it's like 7 pages long of just things to think about. And they were like, okay, coach, we know what you did on your off day, but I just watched every segment of scrimmage and everything I could and challenged, okay, make sure we're organized, because you're true. There's no practice games.
Thank you.
And our final question comes from Wyatt Kopelman. Go ahead, Wyatt.
Coach, I know health and safety of the players and your coaching staff is of utmost priority this season in the unprecedented times we faced, but how much would you say that you'll still be able to try and squeeze in some team bonding activities? I know you won't be able to go on your boat per se, but I know there's a lot of other stuff you guys may be able to do as a team, as long as it's distance, of course.
Right.
And what about the community relations initiatives as well? I know you guys are very keen on doing that too, to give back.
Well,
to
we just did a
community.
great, when we did elementary school day on Monday, I thought that was great. I mean, it was kind of via Zoom, but it was great. Yeah, no, for the team, I'm a coach who has the players over all the time, and haven't really been able to have the whole team over. Small groups outside we've been able to do. It's kind of, you'll get a text, hey coach, what's up, on a Friday night, that you don't normally get, right? Hey, can we come over and watch the WNBA? I was like, oh, Friday night, huh? Okay. The world's a little bit different. So small groups, staying outside. I put the TV on outside, and we can stay socially distant and things like that. We've been we've been trying to be as creative as possible, but everything that we even have an idea about goes through the medical protocol. And they say, no, that's too risky. And then we try to come up with a different idea. But that is something that kind of keeps our program together. And we haven't been able to do as much.